Prophecy, don't want no problems, not with me. I just might call her Mama E. Slay on my demons, watch them leave. Prophecy, don't want no problems, not with me. I just might call her Mama E. Slay on my demons, watch them leave.
Welcome back to my channel. I'm Mama Eve, and today's a good day. Today's a great day. Today is a fabulous day. But most important, today is your day. Welcome back to part 2 of how to build an altar 101. So I didn't want the video to be so long because I know a lot of us have a lot of things that we are doing right now. So I broke it up into 2 sections. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about setting up your altar. One thing that I want to talk about is an altar cloth. Altar cloth. If possible, try to get you an altar cloth. Now, what color altar cloth? It would depend on what type of altar you have. For instance, if you have a prosperity altar, try to get you a green cloth. If you're doing an altar for self-love or love, try to get you a pink or red cloth. If you're doing an ancestral altar, you're never going to go wrong with white. Now, I have had clients, for instance, her uncle his favorite color was blue. So she said, is it okay to put a blue cloth on there? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I want you to be careful. If you have a prosperity altar, try not to use a black cloth. Because remember, in our world, colors mean a lot. So if you have all this positive energy you're trying to draw, then you don't want negative energy. Not saying black is negative, but sometimes when you have a lot of black, it draws negative. And that's really one job of the color black, is to absorb negative. So now there is exceptions to every rule. If all you have is a black cloth, then I would rather you use that than not to use nothing at all. But if you can, try to use the altar cloths that would bring that extra energy to whatever altar you're building. Now, another thing, the space. Whether you use a TV tray, a table, make sure that it's cleansed. Before you set up that altar, you can use blessed water, holy water, you can use anointing oil, you can use Florida water. For ancestrals, you can use Kawanga water. Anything like that. You can, if you don't have that, you can use frankincense and myrrh or copro, or you can use 3 Kings incense. Just whatever it is that would cleanse the area. Then try to do that before you even put your cloth down. I know sometimes people even wash their cloths that they're going to be using, and they may put some Florida water in the water, or a special bath, or a special wash, or a special cologne. They might put that actually in the water when they're actually washing their altar cloths. And speaking of washing and keeping clean, I said it before, but it's so important. I want to say it again. If you put water Make sure, please, that the glass is clean and the water is clean. If you use other liquids, for instance, sometimes we use alcohol, we use rum, we use things like that. Most of the time it will evaporate or will go up into the atmosphere, but sometimes it will mold. Make sure that you keep your glass clean. If you're using coffee, for instance, you have a Lama Dama altar, or you have an ancestor altar and you want to put coffee down, make sure that the coffee cup is clean. Make sure that the coffee that's in the coffee cup is not molded. So make sure everything on the altar is clean. Now, another thing, I really feel strong about this. Be careful who you allow to mess with your altars or touch your things or move your things around. If this is a personal altar, make sure that it's in a secure place where the babies can't get it, and where other people won't move your candles. I can't tell you the amount of times people call me, excuse me, people call me and say, Mama, somebody came in and blew my candle out. Panicking. What do I do? Well, I tell them what to do. But you have to be mindful. I want you don't have to, I want you to be mindful when you are placing or building your altar, what kind of energy it's going to be near. Is it in a place where it's easy for the cat to jump up and knock your stuff over? Or for a nosy neighbor to come in and say, oh, you got a bell. You got a bell. Look at this bell. Ring your bell. You don't want everybody energy. I'm talking about a personal altar. You don't want, or a sacred altar. You don't want everybody's energy messing with your things when you build this altar. That's so important. One question that I wanted to go back. Can you use artificial flowers on an altar? If you don't have to, then don't. If that's all you have, it's okay. Use the artificial ones until you can get some fresh flowers. Now, I will say this to you. My golden mother, when I say golden mother, you know who I'm talking about. Most of you that's been with me for these last years. There is certain type of flowers I can put on her altar. And even with roses, if I put red roses on that altar, when I come back the next day, they are drooping. White, yellow, pink, carnations, no problem. If you put a particular flower on your altar and you find that that type or that color flower is always drooping, do not use that type or that color flower. Change up. So if all you have is artificial, until you can get to the point where you can bring in fresh flowers, use what you have. The next thing I'm going to talk about with altars is this. Let's talk a little bit about deities. Let's talk a little bit about some of the orishas. Now, let's do a little studying before you set up an altar for someone or for that deity. Some altars would need to be up high. Some altars are down low. I'm talking about on the ground, on the floor. Find out just what your deity or your Orisha, what is their feast foods? What is their feast days? What do they like? What is it that they don't like? There is some deities, let's talk about Obatala. You don't put alcohol on his altar. Then you have some, like Papa, that likes rum. So study a little bit to see what it is you should put on that altar, or maybe you shouldn't put on that altar. One thing that I was taught was, if you have an altar with the like seven powerful Indians, if you have an altar with the 7 powerful Indians, you never present them with alcohol. So do your studying a little bit and find out. If you're doing, for instance, an altar to Oshun, find out what's her colors. Try to do the altar cloth on those colors. Try to do her on her feast foods. If you want to offer feast foods, try to put, the feast foods that she likes. If there's a certain day for a deity, whether it be Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, then you might want to light the candle on that day. Or on that feast day, on that date. Say if this is an example, October the 1st, you may want to present on October 1st that Orisha or that deity the feast foods or the little things, the items that they like. Let's just talk about Pop a little bit. If you want to put some toys down, if you want to put a whistle there, you can do that. So, do a little bit of studying. Just don't throw your stuff on the altar that doesn't coincide with what you're trying to do. That's very, very important. It only takes a few minutes. We can go to Google. We can go to, hopefully you have some kind of communication with somebody that you can maybe call or text or write to them or some kind of communication where you can say, hey, what with this deity or with Saint Michael or Archangel Michael, what should I put on this altar? What shouldn't I put on his altar? And hopefully they'll tell you, okay, this is what you should, or this is something to think about. This is something I want you to think about for his altar. So, just like the bells. Why do we have bells? We have bells to call. They're used to call, so they're wonderful for ancestral altars. They're wonderful for the deities. But does that mean you need that for every altar? No. But do your studying. You're not going to go wrong. All right? So I think we did a lot on altars. If there's something I did not answer, now this is just 101. If you want to see more about altars, if you want to actually see me set up some altars, and that's what I was planning on doing. But if you want to actually see me set up some different altars, just so that you can have a visual, just let me know in the comments and I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. But you're going to be okay. Don't be scared. Don't be frightened. And we say, I do not say that lightly, because I have some people that is terrified. They want to have an altar, but they're terrified that they're going to do something wrong. Don't be scared. Don't be terrified. If you do something wrong, then just correct it. If you don't know how to correct it, ask someone or study for yourself, because this is about you. This is about you And this is about that altar, that sacred space that you can go to and you can feel the energy that you're trying to draw. All right? So I hope that I helped you just a little bit. Once again, I can only share with you how I go about setting up altars and how I suggest that a person, a client, or maybe even a honey bun can start doing some altar work. Oh yeah, can you do spiritual work in an altar? It depends on what type of altar it is, but most altars you can. All right, so I once again, y'all go out, have a good week, have a good month. My birthday's coming up. I think I'm going to celebrate the whole month of September. All right, thank you for all the gifts. Thank you for the emails. Thank you for the cash apps. And speaking of that, thank you to the godchildren that stepped up and blessed me so tremendously for with my to help me with my new business. I want to thank you. I never asked anybody for anything, and I did not have to ask. There was some godchildren that just came up and said, "Here, Mama, I don't know if you want to buy this for the store, you want to buy that, or maybe it wasn't any monetary, but you helped move a box, you helped clean, you helped sweep, you was just there for me." And for those that didn't even do that, for those godchildren that put their hands on my back and I could feel your support, I want to thank you and thank my staff because they've been wonderful. We've worked so hard. All right, thank everybody. And you know what? I look forward to the next video. And I only have one other thing to say. Y'all know what that is. Kisses! Mwah!
Prophecy, don't want no problems, not with me. I just might call her Mama E. Slay on my demons, watch them leave. Prophecy, don't want no problems, not with me. I just might call her Mama E. Slay on my demons, watch them leave.